Good morning. So, I thought I was going to touch on something that is actually kind of new to me. It wasn't all that long ago that I started videotaping basically myself when I walk to the gym in the morning and basically started talking about programming and things that that I'm passionate about and I like to do and what I do in my daily life. And when I first started, I didn't expect much. I really only made these videos for myself because I figured that I've never been much of a journaler, like anything that writing. I like writing, but I'm not much for blogging or anything like that. I think to me it's easier to just do this instead. And so I was very surprised when a few people actually started to, look. I mean, not a huge amount of people, but a few people started looking, and I actually got a like or two, and I felt really good. I mean, nice to see that some people approve of the gibberish that I speak. And it was only until fairly recently where I started to get my first dislikes. And so I thought I was going to touch on that and dealing with that and kind of my thoughts around it, and maybe it will be useful to you people out there who are like me, who are the type of people who just in general you like to feel that you're a good person, and you like to feel that people around you like you, like being a likable person. And it's the term I think is people pleaser. Now there is a very important thing that you kind of have to learn in order to, and I argue, to survive in an environment that is fairly hostile. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can relate to things such as, most people are really, really scared of going and speaking in front of a lot of people, or making videos like this about yourself and all of that type of stuff. And the fear, in essence, is because you are afraid of putting yourself out there. You are afraid that you will not gain the approval, or you will get criticized by other people. And the way that you have to kind of think about this, in my opinion, or rather the way that I think about this, is that there are already people out there in the world who hate your guts, or you fall into the group of something that they really dislike, just for breathing. Just for breathing. I mean, if you're an American, odds are that there are millions of people around the world who hate your guts for no better reason than the fact that you were born in America. Same thing goes for Sweden. And I'm probably disliked by some people just for being a man. It's the fact that people will dislike you. We have this illusion about ourselves, and I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you're nice to the people around you for the most part, and for the most part people are nice to you in return. So you build up this little illusion that you're a likable person and all that good stuff, and you are for the most part. Nobody's perfect, and then it becomes very scary all of a sudden when you're at the mercy, or the opinions of strangers are going to come in and potentially ruin that thing for you. It's the same type of thing you feel when you're afraid to show off your work. I've always said that I really admire people who are into singing, because I can only imagine how scary it must be for a singer of some sort to go up on stage and sing just by yourself. Imagine the type of courage that it takes to be able to do something like that, because what if they don't like you? What if people boo you and so forth? And the truth is that the way that I think that you deal with this the best is to remind yourself that most of the naysayers, or the people who dislike you, especially if it's on YouTube, you have very often no idea why they're disliking the thing that you're making. And be nice to yourself. Don't make assumptions about it. I know it. You might feel it as a negative thing, but I try to look at it as maybe this person simply disagrees with what I'm saying, and that's okay. I mean, nobody. I hope that nobody watching this is arrogant enough to think that everything that's coming out of their mouth. I mean, I'm for contrary to popular belief. I'm actually not that arrogant to think that everything I say is correct and that everybody's going to agree with me. Absolutely not. I am wrong a lot. I am wrong a lot. But, always make sure that when you are wrong, fess up to it and learn from it. So if you accept the fact that some people will from the get-go not agree with you, then it becomes a little bit less of a burden to deal with, like dislikes and so forth. And if that doesn't help, think about it this way, especially if you're getting mean comments or something of that nature. Most often, these people are not in any way in a position to really give you criticism. Think of it like a phenomenon I like to think about is that we live today in a world where a supermodel can put up a picture of herself or himself on social media and get dislikes or be called ugly by a really large amount of people in the grand scheme of things. Now, think about that. A supermodel, I mean, their profession is to be beautiful. Like in essence, their beauty is so acknowledged that they are getting paid for it. I mean, shit, if I was pretty enough to get paid for it, you would see I would do everything. But think about it, they are still being criticized because that's the type of world that the internet breeds. It breeds, like when you have this sense of anonymity, and you have the ability to simply, in a very controlled manner, because think about it, a dislike doesn't communicate all that much. It communicates a negative thing or a dislike of something, but it doesn't really give you any specifics about what the problem is. But some people who go out and comment and actually go to elaborate schemes, or trolls, if you will, they are going to, think about these people. If you're criticizing a supermodel for, they're not beautiful or call them ugly, some supermodels actually get depressed over the fact that, that people are calling them ugly. Let's remember, once again, they are being paid because they're so beautiful. So, although that negativity is not nice to get, and if I'm honest, it kind of comes with the territory when you're one of these lucky few people who are that beautiful. The criticism is completely unfounded. This person who's criticizing you, it's not another supermodel. Same thing with the dislike that I got myself. I keep reminding myself that the people who are giving me who are for the most part giving me dislikes and not giving me the approval I so want, these are people who wouldn't even have they don't even do their own videos. They don't have. It's so easy to be a critic. Everybody can be a critic, but it's very difficult to be a producer of something or to actually put yourself out there. And going back to the supermodels, if you are brave enough to actually go through the hell that is that profession, because trust me, it's not an easy job, then don't take it personally when these people are attacking you, because they are in truth really only attacking you because I'm not going to say this or that. I don't know exactly why, but I can guess. And I can guess that at the best, they have a very, very poor understanding of their own self. I would say that they lack perspective on things, because if in a world where a supermodel can be called ugly, I don't know. I can objectively look at something that I don't like and say that and objectively make a deduction and like say something about it that has nothing to do with my emotional state, that it's completely disconnected from who I am. I'll give you an example. Hitler probably had a few friends. So most people will tell you that Hitler was a bad guy, and that's an enormous oversimplification. I know that, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm pretty sure that somebody liked him. I mean, I have bullies. Like when I grew up, I wasn't best friends with everybody. Some people I bullied people. People bullied me back. And there are people who I still to this day can't really see on. Like I can't walk past them on the street because, or rather I can, but all these feelings come back and all this stuff that that was between us can come back. But I can still look at them and say, hey, this guy is probably, we don't get along, and I'm sorry for that. We are not connecting, and we're rivals, if you will. But I'm pretty sure that this person has a loving family, and that they have, friends, and probably a lot of people who really like them. So if I look at it objectively, yeah, it's not an emotional thing. Same thing goes about criticism for movies, and for me it's computer games. A lot of people say that some computer games that I really like are really crappy, and I kind of go, why do you say that? That's such a subjective thing to say. So to tie back to this whole dealing with dislikes and people who are not, who are giving you criticism for what you're doing, try to remember that for the most part you're doing something that they would never try. They would never do it because they wouldn't have the guts to. And I respect, if you're one of these people who are watching this and you're actually trying to make something for yourself or for some other people, then I want you to know that I really admire what you're doing, because it takes a lot of personal strength to put yourself out in a situation where everybody can basically take a stab at you and still, keep on trucking. So I'm very impressed with what you're doing, and hopefully me sharing this with you will give you a little bit of encouragement in dealing with this type of stuff. Because trust me, there are always going to be people who are going to criticize you for absolutely no good reason. Some people, like trolls, they criticize things just to get a rise out of people, and it becomes very easy to let go of these things when you put things in perspective. I mean, most people would not imagine a very physically unattractive person coming up to a supermodel and saying, "You're really ugly." It would feel so it's such a pointless. It's okay, yeah, sure, that might be your opinion, but look at yourself. I mean, the insult is so pathetic, it's so weak that it's almost to the point where it doesn't register. I'm pretty sure it doesn't even register on the radar of someone of great beauty in that scenario. And I think that's the healthiest way that you can think about these things and deal with them. Just do these things for yourself. If you're feeling really bad or feeling discouraged by people disliking the stuff that you make, then I think you're making it for the wrong reason. Because if the goal for you is to gain the approval of other people, then I think that you need to take a rethink on what you're doing. I like to think that I make the things that I make not because I hope that other people will like it. It's great if they do, but I do it because it feels good to me to make these things. And that helps a lot when it comes to dealing with this type of criticism.